This is Sunny. This might be a little bit long of a video, but I'll give a quick summary about it, and then I'll go into details. But basically, I traded these three stocks, and nothing went through here. I overtraded this, attempting it so many times. Finally gave up on it and ended up bouncing, but I don't think the bounce was pretty predictable. And this stock right here, I missed a really good entry because I was too focused on AXLA, and I chased it honestly with no real risk intact, but except for my entry, and it hit my wrist, got out, or it stayed in or got out, I don't know, and then it kept going my way. So throughout the trade, I was just making notes, because I knew I was gonna forget about everything that I was supposed to say in this trade. So I do notes so that I can like remember, or I won't remember, so I do notes to like be able to talk about it. But so both AXL and TVS are both doji candlesticks, doji day ones, and I played them both over trading in many attempts. So my first trade was AXLA. And I'll go into that. Just give me a second. This shit sucks. So if you notice, it was all doji day ones. Same thing on TIVC. TIVC, doji day ones. You can see it. You can see the doji day ones in the wicks. Same thing with AXLA. Straight wicks here. See all these wicks here and shit. Doji day ones. So I traded it, and pre-market it was uptrending. I was looking at AXLA, and the other stock TICA, and this one was performing better, honestly. It was holding above VWAP. I like the way it was holding above VWAP, and as market opened, I was just looking for a lower day. I knew both of them would have dipped. I knew both of them were gonna dip, and I just waited for a potential low. So after pulling back here, I saw that it was holding a little bit above here. So I entered with my $5,000. It perked up, and what was my notes on the first trade? I chased on the second trade. So I'm talking about the second, but I haven't spoke about the first. So I got in. I don't know if I put my stop limit order or I just executed on my own, but it perked up. I should have gotten out because it was like I got in at roughly 35 cents, and it went up to 38.5. So my risk was half a penny, and I was up 3.5 pennies. So that's a 3.5, 1 to 3.5 risk reward, which is okay. Wolf teaches, you should go for 5 or better, but it's not always going to happen. So I should have gotten out, but I didn't. I thought it would break high a day, and it didn't. So I pulled back. I cut. After I cut, it's just consolidated here, and then I chased it, as you see in the notes. My second trade. Second trade, I chased it. On the second trade, had a tight risk, then failed to pull the trigger on the second trade to cut losses. Yeah, I had a tight risk because I was confused on what I wrote, but I had a tight risk because I chased it. So I was like, because I'm chasing it, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to have a tight risk, and I entered, and I entered, and a little bit of my order got executed, and then I just moved the rest of it higher because it was going up without me, and I chased it, and then when it hit my risk, which is my entry, because at what point can I risk from chasing it? The more reasonable high a day is low a day, and I chased it, increasing my risk. So at this point, I have to have a tight risk because now lower day is just too much. So I had it at my entry, and I refused to cut. Once it broke my hitch entry, it pulled back. I didn't choose to execute. And then it says, okay, I had my stop loss order ready, but didn't submit it. Ended up taking a bigger loss afterwards. Third attempt didn't work, but had a better risk. Okay, so I remember this. I had my stop limit order in. I was just scared to hit it because I didn't want to get stopped out. But that's expected to happen when you chase. You're just gonna pull back and you're gonna get stopped out. And if I just didn't chase, that wouldn't have happened. So that's my fault. So then when it pulled back, I just cut. And at this point, I think I was about down like $500 now on a day. Then I had to, as soon as I got out, I had a clearer, excuse me. As soon as I got out, I had a clearer risk because I entered here at 32.89, and my risk at this point was 32.36. So roughly 50 cent, half a cent risk. And I entered, and this time I remember I refused to enter my stop limit order right here. I forgot to enter it, as I said. On my third trade, I ended up with so when I didn't cut on my second trade, I ended up with a bigger loss. But on my third trade, had a better risk. It didn't work, but I had a better risk. It was one of these stocks where I forgot to enter my limit order. I don't know, one of these trades I forgot to enter my stop limit order. So I think it was this one. I'm confusing my typing. That's okay. And then same here again on my fourth attempt. On my fourth attempt, I got a higher, I chased it and got a high to move my risk from low to, and how to move my risk from low to high. Okay. Yes, I remember now. I typed it in wrong, but I know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I forgot to enter my stop limit order here. And then right here, I entered tasting it, had an entry of 30.50, and but my risk was 29.12. Just a cent and a half risk, and I just didn't want to risk that much. And after patiently waiting for what 15 minutes, that didn't look like it was gonna go anywhere. So I moved my risk higher because I didn't think it was gonna go anywhere, and I cut. And I moved my risk from low to higher to cut, and as I said in my writing here, low to high. Got a better entry on the third attempt for the click submit, but stop limit order. I don't know what the fuck I wrote here. But looking back now, I remember what I wrote. So then I entered here, then it wasn't going my way, didn't want to wait, cut. At this point, I'm probably down $1,000. And then I think this was my last trade here. As I wrote right here, my fifth attempt. Fifth attempt, seeing that it was pulling back after bounce. Seeing it wasn't pulling back after bounce, I chased it, hoping that it would continue further with no risk, just my entry point. So after it bounced right here, I'm thinking it was just gonna keep bouncing back to the highs. I just it just had such great range from 40 to 29, really 26, damn near 25. So thinking it would just keep spiking. It wasn't pulling back for a few minutes. It wasn't going nowhere. So I got in. After getting in here, it pulled back. I had no real risk, but my entry, when it pulled back here, I told myself to get out. I was like, let me just give it more time, pull back some more, got out. My exits aren't perfect, but at least I'm getting out and not bag holding. I'm kind of like over that bag holding shit. So I'm like, I know I improved, but there's still more improvement. So I stopped watching it from here and started watching this big run right here, which was up. This was up like 300% or 200%. So I started watching ICCT, which is not on my thing, not on my recents. ICCT. I started watching ICCT, but no, before I traded. After that, somewhere around that time, I traded ITVC, which was another Doji Day chart, which I did not like, but that's part of trading. And I showed you on the yearly chart in the beginning of the video that it was a Doji Day 1, which these stocks I shouldn't have been trading all throughout the day because it's like, and over it's trading them because it was a Doji Day 1. It didn't really have these opportunities. And this one just kept fading all morning. I thought it would bounce. I attempted a bounce with a 12-cent risk, as you see in my notes here. Entered with a 12-cent risk, felt like I could have gotten a better risk, but risk would never be perfect. Your entry would never be perfect, your risk would never be perfect. So I was like, okay, I evaluated the trade. I'm risking 12 cents to possibly make, at high day it was like $4, so it was like from my risk, which was $3.21 from $4, that's like a 80-cent possible bounce. It's already up. I got in when it bounced back up like 12 cents. It still has another 70 cents to go. So I'm like, I got a 1 to 7 risk reward. I'm like, that's perfect, but I don't think it's gonna bounce. and the volume was really low. It wasn't really trending. I didn't like it, so I got out, and I just got out. Back to AXLA. The beauty in AXLA, it bounced way more than I expected. Was not even Sykes was not even expecting it. I said that in my notes, and now you'll see it in my notes. But it bounced way more than I expected, uptrended and kept uptrending, broke the high a day, which was right here, which was like in the 40s or 38s, and then broke the 40s and went to 46. I was not expecting this. I don't see where I could have gotten a good entry to anticipate it after all day or like for 2 hours of fading. Could not expect this kind of run. But there was opportunity. You could have gotten in here, just kept attempting it maybe, or got in when it was holding above VWAP, or on this pullback right here with the anticipation that it would continue going higher, but I don't want to risk this, you know. And if I am, I gotta be really strict on cut, have my market order, stop limit order ready. But now it's not really doing much. It's towards the end of the day, and it's still holding, so it might run up the next day, it might not. Now the ticker symbol ICCT. I wrote here ITCC was another chase with a random risk. It was another chase with a random risk, which was my entry. I was risking for my entry, which I didn't stick to. It pulled back past my entry, and then I bought on higher day with the hopes of I hope that it keep rising. A part of the reason why I entered was to get a gain. I was losing so much on AXLA and overtraded ICCT and overtraded. I was losing so much on AXLA and I was overtrading it. ICC, I should have put a period right here, but ICC was my only gain, knocking out majority of my losses. So, okay, I see what I wrote. So after losing so much on AXLA and after losing so much on AXLA, I wanted to just make a gain. I had the wrong mindset. I just wanted to make a gain, make back some of those funds that I lost. Plus, I'm like, it's a hotter day or market today. So I'm just like not really gunslinging, but I'm taking more attempts because I do have the opportunity to practice. Now, to make this more realistic, if I was trading for real, I only got 3-day trades or less. So all these trades would have never happened, but because I have the ability to do it, I'm just gonna do it. So, you know, I'm just trading. So to be honest, while I was trading AXLA, I was watching this as well. And there was multiple times where I was trying to get in. I wanted to get in here after I seen the pullback, but I didn't like the trade at all. Let me show you the yearly chart. Here's the daily. It was consolidating all year, panicked down. And all we need is show you the daily. 3 months. You see it just pulled back, bounced. They didn't know the news. I was looking up, trying to look up the flow, the outstanding, anything. Didn't get the news, but someone in the chat room said that it was in Wolf's chat room, that it was a uplisting. It had got uplisted. So I didn't really like this stock, but I didn't really like this stock, but it gapped up or not, bro, spiked, market open, got hosted, was consolidating, pulled back. I'm like, I don't like this because I've seen stocks like this before where they just spike, hold, uptrend, be choppy, and then could either come back down or go nowhere. So I'm like, I don't want to trade this. But after it started consolidating and holding above VWAP, I'm like, okay, maybe it can go somewhere, but I still don't trust it. And then I saw, like, I'm like, I should get in right here. Didn't get in. Perked up, pulled back. I said, oh, that was a good move, but now it shows me it was like a 50-cent move. I'm like, still not trusting it because, look, it pulled back so much, it might just panic down. And it didn't. It held, kept uptrending, and then I think somewhere here I was like, I should get in, and I didn't. Didn't think it could have this big move, and it did, which is okay. And then it just started spiking, and after it did its thing, I was just like, wow, shocked. And then I'm like, I don't think this could keep going any further, but let's see. And then I had that negative, improper mindset of, oh, I want to make a gain. No, I won't say it's revenge trading, but it's like, I guess you can call it revenge trading. But I got in with the hopes of trying to make some money back, not really having a risk, trying to make my losses, get some gains on my losses. And as it was breaking towards the high day or going higher, I got in, it pulled back, kept uptrending. I was being patient with it. And it just kept uptrending, and then once I made like a good amount, I got out at $1,000 gain. Honestly, there was no reason for me to be really getting out. I just was satisfied with that $1,000 gain, and that's the wrong perspective. But if you look at the target goals, if I had a target goal, I'm up 25%, which is great. Target goal would have told me to get out, but I did get out with low volume. It was like less than 25 volume at the time that I was trading it. At the end of that minute candle, it was 75 volume on one of these candles. But at the time it was like 25. I got into strength, or I won't say strength, but at the highest point of the candlestick, but I didn't get out into strength. And it just kept perking up, and it hit 750, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm glad I got out. And I made $1,100. Right here it says, and then on my second entry, it says right here, I took a loss. So after it pulled back, I thought it could keep going higher. I won't say the best entries, 577, and I'm risking off this pullback of 522. So that's a 50-cent risk, which I didn't want to risk. So my exit was my entry. And I put a stop limit order here. You see this red line indicating that I put a stop limit order. And I said here that I missed a good exit trying to fix my entry. So basically I was up some and I was supposed to get out right here, but I missed a good exit trying to fix my order entry, because my order entry was like doing some weird shit and I just didn't like it, and I was trying to fix it. Yeah, don't worry about the little. I shouldn't have worried about the little things during a trade. I was up nearly $1 per share, which was roughly $800 at the time. But I allowed myself to be distracted and ended up taking a $100 loss. So because I missed my exit right here, I held thinking it would perk up and go higher, which eventually did. But after it hit my entry, which is an arbitrary, after it hit my entry, which was my entry, which was also my risk, which is also a arbitrary risk because this is more reasonable to exit. I took $100 loss. I was up $800 and I took $100 loss, which was stupid. I should have just did what I said in my notes. Don't worry about the little things during a trade. I was up nearly $800, but allowed myself to get distracted. I ended up losing $100. Shouldn't have been distracted. Shouldn't have been worried about the little things. If I wasn't worried about the little things and I let it go, I would have never been distracted. So then on my third entry, after I got out, I had a clearer mind, and I saw that, okay, it's still holding above after it did this pullback. As you can see here, it did like a short trap. It pulled back and bounced right back up, consolidated. So I saw that, got in, and then it did another one. I really thought this was going to panic, but it still held it. So what it did was it bounced, it panicked and then bounced right back up and then pulled back some more. And the next minute it just started uptrending. And then I put here my third entry. It panicked, held, and could this be a short trap? Was the question I was asking myself. I'm like, this could be a short trap. It was looking good. It bounced right back up, and then I was like, and it's perking up, and it is perking up. I think it was. Could this spike again and go to higher day? And it, after my entry, it pulled back, perked up. Could this spike again? And which it did. It went nearer to higher day. If then I'm like this, then I had to ask myself a question like, I'm gunslinging. Honestly, I'm gunslinging, but there's so much opportunity in both trades, AXLA and ICCT, and I'm just like, could this be what a hot market feels like? This is what it feels like to be trading a hot market. And that's what I felt like because I had a better state of mind when I knew what I was doing, and then I could see clearly what opportunities were there because I understood my strategy better, and I just had a better state of mind, and I was like, okay, is this what a hot market feels like? That's what ICCT had me feeling like. And I put down in my notes questions to ask all the different mentors. And I put down, is this what it feels like to trade a hot market? ICCT is what got me feeling like that. It feels like there was so much opportunity on the front side. And that's what I'm gonna ask Wolf. Because that's how I felt. And I messaged them in the group chat. I will message him in either trader therapy tomorrow, and go from there. And then it was consolidating, which I said in my notes. Now it's consolidating. I'm thinking the odds are 50-50 plus it's midday, but I'm still holding. It was consolidating here, and I didn't like that. I know that's a 50-50% chance, which I'm like, that's horrible odds. And then it started perking up and spiking. And then I wrote here, now we have a perk. Let's see if we can get past the 659 point where I locked in, where it got knocked back down from. My interest is dropping. I'm getting ready to exit now that I'm up. So I had got knocked back down from here at 559,
where I was supposed to get out at. And then it was consolidating, and then it started perking up, and I'm like, can it get past this point at 5:59? And it perked here. I thought it broke through, and it was consolidating, and then it burst through here at 650, 685, breaking past this point. But it was perking up, and it wasn't doing much volume. I was looking for more volume, but I'm like, you know what? It's not moving, doing much volume, but I'm at a high point. Let me just get out. Now, typically, when you're trading a stock and it's uptrending on low volume, that could be signs that more volume is to come, and it will spike, or like it could just panic back down. I don't know. But I know when it's perking up on low volume, that's just shorts probably covering. Buyers are getting in. They're not rushing to get in, but they're getting in, and it's just uptrending. Shorts are squeezing little by little. So I'm getting ready to exit. So then I got out for roughly $1,000 gain at 710. Good selling into strength, but there wasn't much volume in the 1 minute candlestick. And that's what I just explained here. Got out at 710. And then later I explained how if I would have been much better on cutting losses, then I would have had a green day. I would have been green on the day. That was before I made this second and third trade on ICCT. Major lesson learned. Again, I've learned this lesson many times. When there's no opportunity, do not trade. And then when I meant to put when it doesn't look like good opportunities, trade small. And then big wins like ICCT will wipe out all the small losses, whether today or the next day or whatever. And that was a lesson today. It was like just be more careful. When it's not working, just cut quick, cut small, and then there's gonna be another opportunity. And then AXLA bouncing possibly in correlation to ICC. They're bouncing about around the same time. And then I put here that AXLA had even a bigger bounce, which I showed y'all on the chart. Before. So it bounced and it had even a bigger bounce in correlation to ICCT. And then now I'm up on the day for 158 gain, which is right here, 158 gain. But basically, overall, I would have had a better overall day if I just would have kept cutting here. But ICCT got halted, pulled back and got halted because of some news, because they had no news. I heard from what the chat room was saying, they just got uplisted. But when I looked at Yahoo Finance, ICCT, they had nothing going on. And I guess now they're popping up. They weren't popping up before. Yeah, so I just, but this was 24 hours ago, 22 hours ago, so announced clarification regarding trading of common stock. I don't know what made it go up. And then they got halted because they said that
they got halted because the news was on their being halted was that they had no news, and that's what made them get halted. Overall, this trade, was a great lesson to learn because overall it was a great lesson to learn, both on the aspect of performance and state of mind, and performance, state of mind, and just so many other things, with all these notes here, it was just like, I'm glad I took these notes down because, I can write it down and know what I'm talking about for these videos, but overall, it's just improvement. This is a new strategy that I'm practicing, getting a better understanding of. Sooner or later, I'm just gonna be performing this like it's the back of my hand. Wolf said in one of his, when he was talking to me in his video in Trader Therapy, he was like, man, it's just repetition. You learn the nuances through repetition. And I'm like, that's what I'm gonna have to go through. And that's what's happening right now. But I think I did better than before, and I'm continually increasing. When the hot market is around, these continual fades, it's not gonna happen. How AXLA, how it just kept fading on me and fading on me. Typically when it's a hot market, that shit don't happen. It pulls back, maybe goes to 945 and then it spikes. It doesn't do all this shit. It'll do that shit during the middle of the day. But this is a Doji Day 1 chart. It's gonna happen, so just gotta keep working from here and keep improving. I already told myself sooner or later I'm just gonna keep working on it little by little. Market's gonna pick up, really be good at it. I'm gonna really be good at adapting and understanding when the market's not doing well, and then eventually my losses are gonna be small, my profits are gonna be high, and then I'm gonna be trading live and making money. And I come to the conclusion, like, I gotta start figuring out a way to knock off the time that I'm giving away for work. I don't like the experiences that I'm having when I'm trying to study or when I'm at work. So I'm like, in order for my life to change, I have to change and learn something new. So I'm like, if I can figure out how to shorten the amount of time I put into working, I'll be good. So like my overnight job, if I can, it's 3 days out the week. If I can supplement that income, I'll be good. And then if I can supplement my income from doing these little app jobs, even better. And then supplement taking extra shifts, that would be even more better. And then boom, supplement the job entirely and all my expenses. So it's just a continual practice, that's all it is. And soon I'll be where I want to be.